Right guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and a couple of days ago the final roster announcement for the CDL 2021 came into effect, with Paris Legion confirming Scraps, Aqua, Classic and Fire onto the starting lineup. But as we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes here, Parasite may have been close to getting on this team. Fire, of course, who's teamed with Parasite for a fair bit. I thought we could have a look at a little bit more detail about Fire and his career and what we might expect from this guy. Teamed with Parasite for a fair while through the Modern Warfare season. He tried to get Parasite on this lineup, but the squad did decide to go in a different direction. Also wanted to talk about then the possibilities of Parasite and, well, some of the other bigger names matching up in the Challengers Cup, which is coming up very soon indeed next weekend. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you were new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. This then came out a couple of days ago from the Paris Legion, introducing our 2021 roster. We talked about this yesterday, the fact that, well, they came out with this graphic which wasn't even made themselves. A lot of people were talking about how they did Fire kind of dirty in this clip, almost looked like a third Marshall, with Scraps and Was going to be in the first two of the twins, and as well as Parasite tweets this out as well on this image that they just did. So these guys obviously get along quite well. They team together for a fair while. And as you can see, this is, well, Fire's results the last couple of seasons. Played a couple of LAN events, through Black Ops 4. A lot of this is online stuff. The start of Modern Warfare, not having great results, but then got onto a very solid squad here with Profizi, Exotic, Goonjar, Fire, and Paul X as it was at the time. Then they swapped Paul X out for Parasite for a little while. Then he ends up on this team with Parasite. So Exotic, Fire, Paul X, Parasite, and Goonjar. They came third in the Challengers Cup right here. They won the Toronto Open North America Cup when Noisy came into the team instead of Paul X. So yeah, definitely a lot of roster changes as you see very regularly on the Challenger side. But Parasite and Fire were a pretty solid duo last season. I thought it was pretty funny what Parasite came out with as well, saying that he cannot believe Fire got into the CDL because I have a Twitch stream, right? The fact that, well, he was streaming in these online tournaments. Obviously, this tweet is sarcasm, but definitely saying this, okay, well, Parasite stream to some degree. The fact that you're streaming or playing on a team with Parasite, and a lot of these up-and-coming amateurs from the North American region have at some point or other played with Parasite, and he's probably helped them develop and grow as a player to some degree. And obviously, well, Parasite streams being very successful. He has a pretty big stream following, of course, over there, and the stream quality is absolutely top-notch. People were finding out about Fire because he was playing with Parasite and because they were watching his stream. So definitely there was, well, maybe some truth to this to a certain degree. And as then Fire comes out with this, can't wait to see you win the CDL, bro. However, this clip came out very recently, so Fire did, I think he got hosted by Parasite or something like 500 odd viewers came into his stream, and he was just doing a bit of a Q&A, talking to the chat, and he mentions his 10-pack clips right here that, well, he actually tried to get Parasite a spot on the Paris Legion squad. It didn't work out to that effect. They decided not to go down that route, but it certainly is something that could have happened, and, well, pretty cool to see Fire being a bro, as 10-pack describes it right here, to, well, obviously one of his favourite teammates in Christopher Parasite Duarte.
Will Haggy ever get back in the league? I mean, I don't know, bro. I tried getting Haggy onto Paris. That's one thing that I'll say. I tried. But it's a team decision, so nothing you can really do about that.
So Parasite, of course, has been around so many years at this point. To me, way back in Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2 on Freako, Impact winning the World Championship, of course. Then certainly he burns many bridges within the professional community, and that's really why a lot of people don't want to team with Parasite, don't want to bring him on, because, well, they believe he has, like, still some sort of toxic attribute to his personality, and, well, can be a difficult player to team with at times. But it certainly seems that has improved over the year, but just kind of the reputation he has around it makes it somewhat difficult for a professional league team to still pick him up at this point. But the talent is still certainly there. I think he's teamed with more teams than he well, than any other player in Call of Duty history. Quite honestly, this is just LAN results. And then, well, the last couple of seasons he's been more playing on the amateur side after a decent attempt on the Pittsburgh Knights right at the start of Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So Parasite is among a number of other former professional players that are sitting there in the Challenger side, trying to obviously still compete as Parasite does to a very high level. But also there's guys like, I mean, you've got Nagafin, you've got Felony, you've got Censor, of course, who have been in the Pro League and been at top tier professional players at a time a couple of years ago, now looking to get back into the league and make that work. Because next season, it does seem to me like we are going to get expansion coming into effect. Currently, we have 12 teams, 16 teams may be coming in. Of course, Rise Nation are kind of talking about, look, we might just buy out Paris Legion's spot, as we talked about yesterday. And if that happens, right, they may completely change their direction of where they want to go as a team. And if Fire proves to be an impressive talent this season, and, well, he wants to pick up Parasite, and a team may even try to build around Fire or someone like that, if he proves to be one of the best talents on this roster, and maybe Rise Nation come in and say, look, we want to blow this roster apart start, but are we going to keep fire on the team? Like, who do you want to build around? Do you want to bring Parasite in and try and make that work? And especially if the league does expand, a guy like Parasite may be in the perfect position to get back into the league, right? So it's clearly not happening this season. It may have almost happened, but if these guys keep performing to a high level, if and when the league does expand next season, I'm sure it will at some point, then Parasite may be in the perfect position to hop back into the CDL. And I think a lot of people would certainly want to see that. Right now, he's been scrimming with Draza, Decimate, and Emery's, Coach Gorgo Knight at the current time. And well, I also wanted to mention Sensor, right? Because in just a few days' time, finally, we get another Challengers Cup. I believe the last one was in mid-December, something like that. So it's been quite a while since we've had this drama on the timeline. But it's probably going to pop up once again and hopefully continues throughout the season as well on the Challenger side. Definitely makes things very entertaining to follow from a side that isn't just the professional scene. As you can see, Sensor right here, scrimming with Brack, Hunt, and Mike Apbox very recently as well. And while Doug and Haggy certainly had their drama, because when Doug got dropped off his team, the Z squad as it was at the time, he was trying to team with Parasite. Parasite didn't want to, and well, then he had to team with this squad at the end of the day. And Sensor does reply to the Paris Legion. I think we even talked about for a time that Sensor was trying to reach out to the Paris Legion to get on their roster, because, well, he might be a guy you potentially want to build around. In terms of the Paris Legion, don't necessarily have the biggest fan base, or people don't really care too much about this team. Bringing Doug on and having him build a squad around him may have been a successful business move, you can argue, from one direction or another. But Sensor might be in a similar position, really, to where he's looking forwards and saying, okay, next season, when it does go to 16 teams, that's when, if I can prove myself here on the Challenger side, him and Parasite may get the opportunity to, well, kind of be a captain of that squad in a sense and bring that team forward if we do go to 16, which hopefully, indeed, we do. So the Challengers Cups are coming up very soon, indeed. There's going to be so much spice going on the timeline here, because you've got Paul X and co, the Wester team. Can they get the three-peat in this Challenger Cup on January the 9th? Then you've got Doug's team, of course, after a couple of, well, weeks of scrims now. Are they going to play up against Zed's team? How is Zed's new team with Jerd going to do? How is Parasite squad going to do? Can they get a victory here in this tournament? So yeah, back-to-back, January the 9th, January the 16th, and my expectation is maybe on the 23rd, that's when the season is actually going to begin, some sort of launch weekends, and then hopefully after that we get some more Challengers Cup stuff as well, because the Challengers scene this season, I believe, is very entertaining indeed, and I'll try and bring you guys the news and the spice that I think is particularly interesting. To finish off the video, I wanted to talk about this. So Breaking Point GG come out and say, look, which Call of Duty game had the greatest search and destroy game mode? I thought this was an interesting question because, well, at least from the Call of Duties that I've played from Black Ops 1 onwards, there's a few that certainly stand out. I mean, Black Ops 2, you can't really go wrong with Black Ops 2, but also Call of Duty Ghosts, I think, was not necessarily underrated in search, because everyone kind of agrees that Call of Duty Ghost search was very good indeed, but really the only game mode that I particularly liked on that game, I thought personally it was fantastic. I mean, the dead silence was actually dead silent. You could just sprint around the map like a maniac, and it was honestly beautiful the way a lot of those maps played out. I think, honestly, one of my favorite search and destroy maps of all time is probably Warhawk. If you guys remember Warhawk from Call of Duty Ghosts, that's arguably one of my favorite maps in Call of Duty history, and worked perfect for everything, but search and destroy especially, the stuff you could do on the map, the routes you could take were just fantastic. Black Ops 2 certainly deserves a mention. I mean, Raid standoff, it doesn't get too much better than that, but frankly, the rest of the game was so good that search and destroy doesn't necessarily overshadow the rest of the game modes, whereas in something like Ghost, I think it certainly does. I think Black Ops 3 as well, like, those would be my top ones, really, because Black Ops 3 search and destroy was probably the most fun I had playing a game ever. You've got Fringe, you've got Stronghold, you've got, like, Breach, these type of maps. I mean, it doesn't get too much better than that. I really enjoyed it, and well, I think everything in that game was so perfect, and also, it wasn't necessarily just about the game modes being so good in that game, but it was also the scene around the game mode, right? I don't really remember a time, apart from Black Ops 3, where the scene was that good in terms of, you know, these online tournaments and Nick Mercs and stuff, playing wagers and game battles. Scene was absolutely popping, and the search and destroy community at that time was absolutely popping off. Nowadays, things have gone somewhat downhill. I mean, it seems like people are constantly trying to scrub wins, and the whole cheating situation as it's come into effect these last couple of, well, months, really, with no anti-cheat in play, definitely has kind of ruined the search and destroy scene to a degree. And also, you've got the fact there's so many different websites posting tournaments now rather than just game battles, that makes things very fragmented, means that teams are playing like 3 tourneys at once in some evenings and are having a tough time keeping up with which tourney they're in, who they're playing in which tourney, and there are difficult questions like this, which maybe need to be answered going forward. But yeah, Black Ops 3, in my opinion, was kind of the pinnacle. Not only was the game great, the maps were great, but also the scene at the time was very good indeed. And hopefully one day we do manage to get back there. I think Black Ops Cold War is probably getting closer than it has done these last couple of seasons. But intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
I'll throw mine.
You stop there.
I hit him.
He's on the right rock. Yeah, he is. Dead.
Guy just jumped out, laundry. Clip it, upload it.
He's got
Let's
smoke.
go, boys.